What's up, everybody? Tim Anderson here, aka Renville, the bearded dwarven princess, and we're back with more rants for the Rings of Power. And today we're talking about Galadriel, the warrior princess, or Galadriel, the serene queen of Lothlorien. How did she get to be that character? What was she doing in the Second Age? What was she doing during the First Age? How did any of that come to play in the writing of the character for the Rings of Power show? Because based on what I'm reading in my current Mondays in Middle Earth series, every Monday morning at 11 a.m. Central Time, to plug that here on my channel, and everything I'm finding on the internet suggests that she may have participated in some battles, but she was never the warrior queen that they are describing her as. I don't know. We're going to do some reading today. And as always, if you are a Tolkien fanatic and a Tolkien expert and you have more information, please drop it in the comments below because I am always looking forward to learning more about these characters as I return to this series for the first time in 20 years. Because the last time I read these books, the internet wasn't available like it is today. And so there's a whole slew of new information out there as I've been reacquainting myself with all of these characters ahead of the Rings of Power show. So let's go ahead and jump over here to the LotroFandom.com wiki. And it gives a brief history of Galadriel. It says during the First Age, so once in Beleriand, she lived nominally with one of her brothers, most likely Finrod, but spent much time at the court of Thingol and Melian and Menegroth when she arrived in First Age 52 and was welcomed because of her family relationship to Thingol's brother Olwe, Galadriel's maternal grandmother. She met Celeborn here, a kinsman of Thingol and Doriath. She also traveled to visit her brother Finrod in his realm of Nargothrond multiple times. Her three older brothers were killed during various battles in the First Age. Now, I know this came up recently because someone in one of my previous, actually multiple people in one of my previous videos had said, based on the official trailer release, like there's this speech that Galadriel gives about how she's got to defend her brother or defend his, avenge her brother. And it's like, I think a lot of people said that her brothers actually never died during any fights that were directly with Sauron. They died in captivity and so on and so forth. I don't know enough about that, so I can't speak to that. Um, What's interesting to know here is they are mentioning that she met Celeborn during the First Age, and yet we have not seen anything about him during the show. Why? Why are we not seeing Celeborn? That's her life mate. Elves mate for life, and not just this life, but also the next life. Like it doesn't end when they pass from the physical form. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. What's up with him? Why is he not here? So she briefly became friends with Melian the Maya, who wanted to know the cause of the exile of the Noldor. She briefly narrated the story, leaving out the death of Finwë, the kinslaying at Alqualonde, and the burning of the ships at Losgar. She dwelt in Northgard with her brother Fenrir and asked him if he would take no wife, but Fenrir had taken an oath only for himself, as his beloved had been left in Valinor. She had no, this is very important, it says right here, she had no role in the major wars of the First Age, believing that defeating Morgoth was beyond the power of the Eldar. When Morgoth was defeated by the coming of the Valar out of the west, she, having played no part in the earlier kinslaying, was offered safe return to Valinor. However, she chose not to leave Middle-earth, and was only the leader of the Noldor exiles to reign in the First Age. So again, I'm just going off what the wiki is saying here. I've read some other ones, and they all say the same thing. It's literally just like they've copied and pasted each other. And I'm not intimately familiar with the history of Middle-earth and all this other stuff. I've only ever read The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and The Silmarillion, and the last time was 20 years ago, which is why I'm rereading them right now to get myself up to speed with all this information. But it says here, and I don't remember ever reading about otherwise, it says that she had no major role or no role in the major wars of the First Age. So why is she being described as a warrior queen if she didn't have any part to play in the wars of the First Age? Because we are picking up in the Second Age. That's what this show is all about and has been about since they first announced this show. The Rings of Power show is the Second Age. She was not a warrior queen. It says here during the Second Age, actually, that Celeborn and Galadriel traveled first to Lindon, where they ruled over a group of elves as a fiefdom under Gil-galad, the High King of the Noldor. Sometime later, they had a daughter, Celebrimbor. They moved eastward and established the realm of Eregion, or Holland, where they ruled under Gil-galad. Eregion, to the west of the Misty Mountains near Khazad-dûm, was a prosperous kingdom during this time and had open trade with the dwarves. Also during this time, they made contact with the Nandoran settlement in the valley of the Anduin, later to be known as Lothlorien. Subsequently, when Celebrimbor took over the rule of Eregion, Galadriel left by way of the mines of Khazad-dûm. After the death of King Amdir in the War of the Last Alliance and the departure of his son Amroth, Celeborn and Galadriel became the Lady and Lord of, or the Lord and Lady of Lothlorien. In the Second Age, the Maya Annatar, Lord of Gifts, guided Celebrimbor and the other Noldor of Eregion in the creation of the Rings of Power. So this is after. Note this. So before Celebrimbor was the Lord of Eregion, Celeborn and Galadriel ruled under Gil-galad as the leaders of Eregion. I haven't seen any of that discussed in the Rings of Power trailers at all. This would suggest an entirely different story than what's being told in the Rings of Power. It says here that Galadriel had an immediate distrust of Annatar, which was later justified when he was revealed to be Sauron. She then counseled Celebrimbor in the hiding of the rings, and when Eregion was attacked, she was entrusted with one of the three rings of the elves, Nenya, the Ring of Water. Conscious of Sauron's power and wishing to thwart it, she did not use the powers of her ring as long as the One Ring was in Sauron's hand. However, during the Third Age, when the One Ring was lost, she put it to good use, protecting the borders of her realm, for the powers of her ring were protection, preservation, and concealment for evil. The most important part of all of this for me is this part about the Second Age. We're going to reread that, and I want to kind of dive into it a little bit more. But before we do, this is my call to action point where I say, hey, if you like this video and you like my Rings of Power series, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you never miss an update. And don't forget, every Monday at 11 a.m. Central, I'm reading through The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion ahead of and through and probably after the Rings of Power to re-educate myself on all things Tolkien. So tune into those every Monday at 11 a.m. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, you can do so with a super thanks down below. You can drop $2, $5, $10, whatever you want, custom amount. Buy me a cup of coffee, buy me a horse, a Ferrari, whatever. You can also tune in to live streams and drop super chats and stickers during the live streams. You can also join as a member of the Adventurers Guild down there. I am a full-time content creator here on YouTube thanks to the support of folks like you and folks like all of these individuals who are supporting here and over at our Patreon page, where my wife and my brother and I are building our own world of fantasy and magic called the World of the Weave and the Void. So you can check that out. Links are below, patreon.com/wandering hermits. Let's get back to this, though, because it's intriguing to me. It says that Celeborn and Galadriel traveled first to Lindon in the Second Age, where they ruled over the elves. So why, again, is Celeborn not present in any of the trailers that we've seen for Rings of Power? Now, I will say we have seen, I think, I don't know if it was in the official trailer, but I think it might have been the trailer before. We did see a scene where it looks like Gil-galad is giving... there's like some sort of a ceremony going on where something is being gifted to Galadriel. And I wonder if it is a moment in time where they're going to show her being given the rule of Eregion. But I don't know that that's actually the case because the character of Celebrimbor in the show has very much been described as the Lord of Eregion. He is the Lord of Eregion in the timeline that they're talking about in the Rings of Power. So I'm not sure what that ceremony might be about unless they're going to be doing flashbacks to the history during the first couple of episodes. I'm really kind of confused about how that's going to be working in their show. It's also, I mean, are they just skipping over the fact that Galadriel had a child with Celeborn? Like, are they just skipping her daughter being born? And it says here that they were the ones who established the realm of Eregion, also known as Holland. Let's open Eregion here and see what it says. Eregion, later known as Holland, was the realm of the Noldoran elves during the Second Age, located near the west gate of Moria. It was a rare elven kingdom for the relationship with the dwarves were cordial. From Second Age 750, it was ruled by Galadriel and Celeborn from its capital of Ost in Edhil. After Second Age 1350, they crossed the Misty Mountains to Lothlorien, their new kingdom, and from SA 1350, the Gwathi-Myrdain, under Celebrimbor, the last of the House of Feanor left in Middle-earth, ruled Eregion. So, we're looking at 700, my math sucks, like 700 years, right? 850, 950, 1050, 1150, 1250, 30, 600 years that Galadriel and Celeborn ruled Eregion. Where is the mention of that in any? And furthermore, if they were ruling this kingdom for 600 years in peace with the dwarves, and we get specifically told that she never She had no major role in the wars of the First Age. Where the hell do these showrunners get off showing her as this warrior princess who's off like finding the ancient evil and Sauron's not, he's still lurking, I promise you, he's coming back, Sauron. Like, none of that appears to be anything from the books and the information that's put out there over the years by Tolkien and himself and by his son Christopher. Oh man, this is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And this is the kind of stuff I keep coming back to because it's like they don't even care about the actual history of the books. Um, 600 years, that blows my mind. Does anybody have any more information about that? Like, I don't know enough about um, the time period when they were ruling. Like, is there information out there about what happened during their rule, or is it just mentioned that they ruled for those 600 years? I'd love to know more information about this. If you've got more information on what Galadriel was doing with Celeborn when they were ruling Eregion as the original founders and rulers of that kingdom for 600 years, and the fact that she didn't do any major battles during the First Age, I want more. Anybody who's got more information about Galadriel, drop it in the comments below. Let me know. Let's have a discussion. Until next time, stay safe, everybody. Like, subscribe, follow.